What up? Stevie 101. If y'all are here, let me know. Guys, we're going to talk about how to actually get started with Chatfuel today. I'm going to show you how to sell digital products specifically with it. But we are having a Messenger Marketing Mastery Summit this upcoming week here in the group. And we're going to help you learn how to utilize chatbots to grow and scale your business. And the guests that we have appearing are some heavy hitters. So if you guys want information on how to actually attend this summit and see all these interviews live and for free, then drop an emoji and we'll get you all that info, guys, because we're going to talk about it. So let me just make sure that people are here and that people can hear me. This is something that we're going to be doing so that you guys can continually stay on the cutting edge of how to go out and utilize and implement chatbots. And also there's going to be a lot of talk about how to sell it as well. So if you guys want information on that, just drop an emoji and we'll get it to you. What I specifically want to talk about today, oh, that's not what I want to talk about. That's us. This is us right now. What I want to talk about today is, here we go, is I want to talk about how to use Chatfuel, right? How many of you guys are using Chatfuel? Or let me know what platform you are currently using. Okay, we've done a lot of trainings on other platforms, specifically ManyCrash, and now we are going to be expanding and helping you guys to utilize Chatfuel. And as we get into this, what I'll say about it is that I think it's important for you guys to learn lots of different platforms. I don't know about lots, but definitely multiple ones, right? I was fortunate enough to, some of you guys know the story with ManyCrash, but I had my bot up there and, had, I don't know, built 15 or 16, 20 bots. I don't know how many pro plans I had on ManyCrash. And they decided that one day they weren't going to let me use their system. I've yet to receive any information from them or whatever it is. And so what I've been told is that because I was creating promotional posts in their Facebook group, that they have the opportunity to ban any users at their discretion. I guess that means from their bot platform as well, in addition to their Facebook group. So the reason that I'm, encouraging you to do this is that you don't want to be pinned down to just one platform, right? You don't want to be just pinned down to one bot software, and unless it's your own, unless you code it yourself and it's something that you developed and programmed yourself, because these things can happen. So while Chatfuel for now is going to be what we kind of focus on here in this group, and I show you how to utilize it because it's very, very powerful. I'll show you a lot of the capabilities that it can do. We're going to be highlighting and showcasing lots of different softwares in this group. And so I just want you to know that this is just one of them that we'll get into. So let me know, what if you guys, so Abdullah says, what if Facebook never removes the ban? Well, then Facebook is going to go out of business, right? And if you guys don't know, Facebook is worth like hundreds of billions of dollars. Do you know how many people are invested into Facebook? And do you know how invested Facebook is into the bot platform? They've invested billions into this platform. So why did they do this now? Why did they take such a hard stance now? Because they know they're going to be continuing to invest in this stuff in the future. And they know that they're going to be continuing to, be relying on Messenger as a huge revenue driver for them, because the news feed they're running out of spaces on the news feed. So I think I understand, and I can relate with that sentiment. But I think it's just it's silly to think that Facebook is not going to work through this and then they're going to be back. And just the unfortunate side right now is that bots got grouped into the same category as apps, and that's really what they're worried about, right? Or that's really what the problem was. It was with these Candy Crush apps. It was these stupid surveys where you would take a quiz and you would do it with Facebook, and then all of a sudden this quiz would get all of this data that they don't need. That's what they were worried about. It wasn't the bots. The problem is that to Facebook, bots and apps were just on the same like integration, right? They were just on the same API or base. I don't know. That's my stupid marketer's kind of interpretation of it. But essentially in their coding, in their program, they kind of treated bots and apps the same way, because Chatfuel is just an app right on top of Facebook. So Chatfuel Many Crash is actually an app on Facebook. So that's why it kind of got grouped there. So that's what I would say to you, Abdullah. Let's get into here. And how many of you guys, give me on a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you guys with Chatfuel? Just so I can know what it is. So John says bots are apps, and they're the same thing, right? But what Facebook was concerned about was these apps, right? Their primary concern was going in and figuring out what was going on prior to 2014, right? I don't know how many people had a chatbot set up prior to 2014. And if you did, you're a badass. And if you're not, I don't know, it doesn't matter. You're probably not that. So that's the kind of difference. So, all right, cool. So John says 10, Abdullah says 7. What about the rest of you guys in terms of your level of proficiency with Chatfuel? Because this might not be a good training for John and Abdullah. They'd probably be better off training me. John is actually my trainer on Chatfuel. I'm going to be fully transparent. I watched John's Chatfuel training in the group, and I watched his training on how to integrate Invoicing You into Chatfuel. And I literally was walking through it for a couple of hours over the last few days. So this is all based on his kind of training. So Andrew says 8, Anais says 5, Marion says 0. All right. So let's kind of walk through, and I'm gonna kind of get set up and at least show you guys what we kind of did. So I was walking through through John's video the other day, and what was beautiful is that he actually showed you guys, so you guys can see more in detail about how to specifically do kind of a custom invoice essentially. But what we were able to do was create an input where, well, I think we might be able to show it actually. Let's see here. So if I click test, right, let me show you. This is once again, I just ripped off John's training, and I was walking through, and as you guys should go through these trainings, go through these trainings to be able to and then implement it on your own, right? So if I hit demo, it's going to say, what's your email? And I'm going to say abc@abc.com. Okay. And then it's going to ask me, how much do I want to pay? Or it's going to ask the item for invoice. So I'm going to say test, right? And then it's going to say, how much do you want to pay? And I'm going to say $1,000. Okay. So now what it should do is it should go out and it should create this invoice, right? So it says, click here to pay. So if I do that, okay. Now what I can do is if I go through here and I put in my information, and I can do a test here. Oops. And then if I do that, it'll say, oh, I need to put in a actual valid. And if I do that and I click pay, it'll say, cool, I paid. And then what'll also happen is it'll say successfully paid. I'll ask for any feedback. Now, if I jump over here, it should actually register that I paid and send me a follow-up, right? At least that's what it should do. I don't know if I broke it all. Maybe I broke some stuff in the Zapier. But that's what's really nice about it, is that you can sell digital products now through Chatfuel. Because if I go over here and I jump on configure, the challenge is that with this payment extension, right, Chatfuel payments, it says to sell products, get donations, or provide services. Well, Facebook actually is pretty particular about their terms of service. And so what they say is that you can't actually, through their native buy button, you can't actually sell digital products, right? That's actually something that they say, is you can't sell digital products. So if you want to go in here and you just want to set up and use Facebook's buy button, or in the future, if you guys want to use ManyCrash, if you use the ManyCrash, if like their Facebook or payment integration soon, you cannot sell information products, right? You can't sell digital products. It has to be, it's only for physical products. And we've also talked about the fact that you can't have a you can only have one type of payment. And so it's not as dynamic here. So John says that if I put the domain whitelisting, would I put the tier 5? Would I put that in here? Let me know if that's what I would do. So Lindsay says 0. She says that she's just setting up her account. So let's walk through some of this stuff, because it's pretty powerful here in terms of what you can do. So John, if you want, you can hop on right now. If you want to come in, I can give you access to the Zoom if you're down. Just let me know, and I'll send you a link here into the Zoom. You can hop in. So let's just kind of walk through. You'll see here that I have my welcome message, and my welcome message is just a quick, hey, thanks for stopping by. It gives a little delay, right? Because I want to give these people time to read it. And then what I want to do is then I will go here and give them my guide to get started. So I'm going to send, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to send, we're going to get the master on here, and you guys are going to get a dual training. You guys are in for a treat today, guys. It's going to be good. Oh, look at there. You paid your invoice. See, I told you. I knew it would work. Oh, I was so excited. I was so excited when I finally got it to work. It was kind of a big moment for me. So let's get in here and let's continue to talk about Chatfuel. So if we go here, we'll notice that we have all of our basic stuff, right? We've got all of our text, we've got our typing. What that means is that you got your delays here, and you can have it all the way up to 20 seconds, and you can stack delays too. So you can stack delays to have it, if you want it to wait a minute, you can stack a delay. I believe that worked in many crash. I believe that works here. Let me see what's going on. The last USB device and malfunctioned. What is going on with all these malfunctionings, guys? What is going on with this stuff? So let me know if you guys, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Now, we've also got our quick replies, right? So obviously quick replies can't be put after a delay. So we can go in here. And what's nice about the quick replies is that we can choose to, we can enter the name, right? And then we can say, all right, test. And then we can say that we're going to send them to the DDK guide, right? And then I can save this user attribute. And what's great about it is that I can actually save this test to a user attribute. So let's put in here DDK. All right, so that if they hit that, they're going to go to the lead magnet. Now, I also, if they respond by, if they type, right, you'll also notice that these text replies will be processed by AI. It says, by default, free type text inputs will be processed by AI engine. They won't be saved to user input. You can choose to save them to the attribute instead. So basically what that means is if they don't click this reply, if they just respond back a random, AI, then it'll actually process as a keyword, and it'll come over here and respond back with some of these responses, right? So the AI is the same thing as the keyword. What that means is when people actually message the bot back, what is it going to, what is it going to say back? So let's see here. If you guys have questions, throw those down there. Otherwise, I'm just going to walk through just some basics on Chatfuel, and then we'll also show you how to set up, kind of walk through how to set up actually taking payments on here for information products. And those of you guys who want to, I don't know, we'll show you how it's done. So let's see, what else do we have on here? So we have image, obviously your normal image. You can also use GIFs. What I also like about that is that you can put GIFs in there. Galleries are great. Galleries are like a carousel. And basically, a lot of people like to swipe. A lot of people I've just found that people are, some of my highest relevance scores is, so my highest relevance scores are actually the carousel ads. And it's interesting because even like the worst I've ever had was like a 6 as like a relevance score. And I was like, it was a pretty shitty ad set. So the reason I say that is that people love to swipe stuff, right? So if you can put things like a gallery where they have, you know, pictures, and they have this, most people are used to swiping up and down. So all of a sudden you give this opportunity to swipe sideways and people freak out. I don't know. It's pretty sweet. John, you there? Hold on. Let me actually figure out. I need to adjust my let's see. Let me see. Does that work? I need to get my audio straight. I have a bunch of different. Oh, there it is. Hold on, guys. You can see I was listening to my. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was rather weird. I apologize for that. Now I can hear you, John. Are you there? I think he's muted. That's okay. I'll probably be back. So let's just walk through. We got some basic galleries. Okay. Now go-to blocks are great. This is like this is basically like oh man, you can use this in so many different ways. So go-to blocks allow basically, if they get to the end here, it's just going to do this thing, right? So you can either redirect them to a block that can, you know, add attributes, that can, you know, trigger different sequences. So this go-to block is great because you can do it that, you know, you can send it, and there's lots of different, you know, things that you can do creatively and also tracking wise to do it. But then you can also add filters. So basically it becomes, you know, conditional logic. So it says if they're like red, send them this, you know, do this. If they're like blue, you can do this. So just this go-to block really allows you to get creative with where you, you know, where you send people or how you track and kind of analyze people. John, I think I saw you. Are you back? He always disappears. So guys, throw down your questions here if you guys have any. We're sitting here and we're hanging out on. For me, it's a Saturday afternoon. For John, it's a little later, but for you guys, what do you guys want to get into specifically when it comes to Chatfuel? We'll show you how we created this invoice. And if you notice over here, and John, if you're listening, just cut me off when you come back in. You'll notice what we did is we went out and so here's this invoice, right? And we collected what our email was. We collected how much it was, or what it was going to say and how much it was for. We paid it, right? And this invoice was already paid, so it should say that it was paid. But you'll notice it says email@abc.com. There was my test, and there was my product. So we were able to create a dynamic invoice right there in the bot. And then after I paid it, it registered and it followed up and said, you paid your invoice. So now imagine you guys being able to process payments right in the bot, and then the bot being able to recognize that those payments were processed so that you can, you know, follow up with them. So we can get into some of the specifics there, but this right here, without what we did, is probably, you need at least a 7 or an 8 of a Chatfuel understanding in order to really nail it down and understand it, because I had to step by step my way through it, each step. So we can get into that if you guys want. Someone says he's looking for this topic only. Okay, cool. So Abdullah, how do you get user email and phone and quick replies in Chatfuel like you would in ManyCrash? You can't right now. That's actually something that Chatfuel hasn't totally, they just haven't updated that yet. That's something on Facebook's API that they allow, but that Chatfuel just doesn't have, unfortunately. I don't know, maybe John has a different answer for me. So what I love about Chatfuel though is that, let's see. John, let me get him back in. Promote. Should be back. Should be coming in a little bit. So I don't that is something that I think is Chatfuel still needs to make on their update. But Johnny there?
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with my computer right now, but yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Hold on. Why is it?
Can I start this video?
Oh no. Oh, I know why. All right. I have all
all these. Okay, now I can hear you, man. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Sorry, dude. All this tech. I'm not a PC guy. So, anyways, dude, it's
Yeah, it says you got my video turned off too, bro. I wanted to show you my monkey.
let me send it. Make host. I'm gonna make you the host, and then you can turn on your video. You have your pants on, right? We're talking about like your actual monkey.
Yeah, come here, George. George, come. Yeah, my actual monkey, man. It's late. It's late. We just got back from seeing. We just got back from seeing a movie, the new Saw movie.
Oh yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So one question that came in was the whole
like in the quick replies that many crash allowed. I know Chatfuel doesn't have that update yet. Is there a way to program around that, or is that just something you have to kind of wait?
There is a way. Something's going on with my camera. It keeps shutting off all the time. But there's essentially a way around it, but it's not a really nice way right now. And most people aren't actually going to be able to do it because of the ban on apps. So essentially, the reason that Chatfuel doesn't support it,
guys, sorry about this.
The reason Chatfuel doesn't support it is because it's a permissions issue with the app, and they can't support it right now because Facebook's. If they go in and actually see what's going to happen is if they go in and ask for any more permissions whatsoever in their application, they're going to have to go under a review, which means all of Chatfuel won't work anymore. So they just can't support it right now.
John, if you could keep talking and kind of explaining a little more on that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my audio here. It keeps going in and out.
See if you can figure out what's going on with my video too, man, because it keeps going out. And I was trying to show you my monkey. Look at this monkey. You want to see this monkey while you're trying to figure out your audio? I got a real live monkey. Is this cooler than a panda hat? I'm not sure if this is cooler than a panda hat.
You're trying to one up me with a real fucking monkey?
I mean, the panda hat's pretty cool, but what about the monkey? The monkey's pretty badass, right?
Well, I'd get arrested for that, so can't. There's the limitations here. We can only work with fake animals over here.
No, just a cigarette. So if you search in the Chatfuel group enough, you'll find somebody that actually made a workaround with the actual quick replies for phone number, for email. But honestly, it's not a real elegant solution because in order for you to do it, you essentially, the way they made the plugin is no, I don't. That's what I was asking you for. You essentially actually have to pop up a web view and then have the users authenticate with Facebook and in order to be able to do it. So it's just not a really good workaround. Chatfuel will support it. Chatfuel will support it later. If it ends up being I'll put my team of engineers on it and we'll build a solution. We'll build a solution out for it. So essentially, but I've got most of my free engineers, as you know, working on our own chatbot building platform, working on Chatbot. So there's a way around it, but it's essentially you got to call the Facebook API directly. So it's a little pain. It's a little pain. So that's one of the issues with Chatfuel. But I mean, there's an issue. There's issues with every bot building platform out there. Hence why we're focusing so bad on. Hence, we're focusing so bad on building Chatbot because there's so many issues out there with all the other bot building platforms.
I hear that. So,
at least Chatfuel didn't ban us, though. At least Chatfuel lets us still build bots on their platform, man.
This is true. As I was telling him at the beginning, before you might have hopped on. So what I'd love to do here, what I put in the headline was how to actually get how to sell digital products, because with many crashes. Payment function that's coming out in a little bit. Although you can do it with one button, it has to be physical products, or excuse me, there's no digital products you can't sell there, and it's only there's only one iteration that you can create. Whereas you were kind of showing earlier in the week how to do it right here in Chatfuel. So let's say someone, I'd love to get some personal coaching here, and I think this will help some people. So let's say that we want to get people and we want to create them in the accelerator program, right? And basically what we're going to be doing is it'll be a one-time payment of $497 or a monthly, for a one-time payment of $497. Let's just stick with that, right? So basically, we have some of the basics set up here.
You're gonna do the software package with the accelerator program as well.
So what it would be the $497 would include the accelerator program, and then it would include we don't need to connect right now the softwares. I mean, I don't mind doing that manually or integrating that later, but the offer would include the accelerator program and then 3 months of the softwares.
Because you can add, I mean, when you create those invoices, you can add custom subscriptions. You can add the subscription right to the invoice. So you could have like a line item, entry, access to the accelerator program, and then you can also attach your custom subscription right there on that invoice. So essentially, they pay one fee. They pay both things at once, but then the subscription will be, a subscription that happens every month afterwards automatically.
Would it kick in after the 3 months? Like you could kick it in the delay, or tell me how that would work out.
Not right now. Not right now. But if you give me like, I need about 2 weeks. I know you watched some of that live video, and a lot of your students, man, they were asking for a couple features. So we just added them into the roadmap. So one of the things that you can do with Stripe, it's called trailing. All right. So in Stripe, essentially you can create a subscription, and let's say you can make that subscription trailing for 90 days. So what that means is that the dude will be added to the subscription, but they won't be charged until after 90 days. It's like a trial,
right? Essentially.
Correct. So you can do it right now with the invoicing platform, but you can't do it all inside the invoicing platform. You'd have to actually, because we don't support the trailing subscriptions, you'd have to do the subscription in Stripe, make it trailing in Stripe. But in about a week, maybe 2 weeks max, we'll support the native trailing functionality right inside the invoicing platform, because it's one of the things I added to the roadmap based on the conversation with your students. I had a lovely one at like 4 a.m. by the way. I think you saw that dude posted on your wall that said something's off with me. And just for the record, something is off with me. I mean, I do have a pet monkey, so
I think what the hell? 8.5. That's I had your back. I hear you. I've had quite a few people who I don't know. We just need to talk about that on air. I would just encourage you guys to be grateful for what you guys have.
If you create a new plan, you can add a new plan, and then in that trial period, all right, that's the trailing period. In that trial period, there you can go in and actually make that, let's say 90 days, and essentially they'll be added to that subscription, but they won't be charged until 90 days afterwards. So we don't support this natively. Like you can, when you're in invoicing you and you create a custom subscription, it just calls Stripe's APIs and does this stuff for you. So you don't have to log into Stripe. We don't have the option for the trailing subscription, but we're adding that in. I've got like 2 weeks down the roadmap, because some people have asked me, people ask me to be able to put the invoices behind their own domain, so that whenever they generate invoices for their clients, they're not behind an invoicing you domain, they're behind their website domain. So I just kind of bumped that up to the front of the line, because it seemed like people really were interested in that. So I kind of bumped it up.
Interesting. I think,
like I said, I'm keeping most of my free developers. I mean, we obviously do a lot of service revenue, so most of my engineers stay working for our clients, and all the ones that are free that aren't working, everybody that I can spare, man, I've got stacked up on this bot building platform, because I love Chatfuel. Honestly, ever since I've been working with Chatfuel and I've been in their group, these guys have not been scared of competition like MiniChat was from the beginning. And that's essentially, that's why MiniChat banned me, right? MiniChat banned me essentially from their group, because I had a video of their CEO that was literally telling me, look, I'll promote you, but don't mention any other bot building platform, because I don't want anybody to know that there's other platforms that they can build bots in. I only want them to know about MiniChat. And I left it on I left it on YouTube, and that's essentially why they Chatfuel's been really cool. They don't seem like they're scared of competition, and I'm not trying to compete with them anyways.
So look how easy this was, right? So this is basically what I'm doing is I'm setting up the accelerator program right here. I'm in a product invoice, I believe. Or did I do?
No, you're not. You're not in a product invoice. You're in a normal invoice. You want to go to that product invoice, though.
I thought I did that. Product name.
Accelerator program here. And then got that here. And the reason that you want to do this, guys, is because remember, Facebook is getting super picky about their, you just want to make sure that you're following the TOS. And one of the things in terms of payments is that you can't sell digital products. So if you want to do that, you're going to need a different software in order to be able to do that. And it makes it really easy with stuff like this. So accelerator plus software, and this is going to be the 99 with the 90-day lag. And so submit your info to
now I do want to make a disclaimer here. I do want to make a disclaimer. I haven't tried this in the invoicing platform yet, so I'm not sure how it's going to read that. I'm not sure if it's going to read that trailing. I think it might actually still want to charge you the full price. So we may have to come back to this once I add in the native support here in the platform, because like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if if the invoicing platform right now will actually realize that subscription is trailing. So essentially it will realize that it's trailing and it will put them on the subscription. But I think as far as the data that the consumer is going to see, I think the consumer will actually see that they need to pay more than will actually be paid.
So submit your, so you're saying that on the invoice, it'll show up as $497 plus 99. Kind of
I think so. We can give it a try. I really think so, because I don't think because we don't support that trailing feature natively on our side. So I don't think it's going to know about it. We can try it because it might, since it's a Stripe API, but we can try it, but I'm not sure about it.
Now for my hidden fields, basically I need a ManyChat, right? Or a ManyCrash and a
This hidden field, it can be whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. It can be foo, it can be bar. Those are programmers jokes, foo and bar. I just call it MID. Don't call it ID. Definitely do not call it ID. You can't call it ID. I should add a disclaimer there. Call it MID, because the ManyChat ID and the Chatfuel ID, essentially what those guys are what developers refer to as a PSID. They're paid scoped users ID. So in Facebook, everybody in Facebook has a user ID. And then whenever you interact with a Facebook object, like a page or a group, then Facebook reassigns you a new ID. How much does that say to pay?
You're right. $596. So what if I come back here and I go,
I think you'll just want to leave the subscription off, and then, like I said, just give me to the end of the week. If you want, I can push it up above the. The white label stuff. But
it's not a big deal. You just because you asked if that was going to happen, I wanted you to know what was going to happen. No, it doesn't matter.
It seemed like a lot of people really wanted that white label, though, to be able to put the invoices behind their own websites instead of an invoice view website. So.
I mean, for me, I'm not concerned about it. It's not like it's an immediate rush. Please complete your info to gain access. All right. So let's go down here and let's do Messenger ID. And then
No, you saw that affiliate bot that I made, right?
I did. Fucking shit, John. I'm just trying to figure out how to learn how to put payments in, and you're over here mind fucking me.
Hey, that affiliate bot though, man, just think all the students that you have, right? So first off, this is a great opportunity for your students, especially what was that guy's name that was messaging me at 4 a.m. in the morning asking for free software. That dude, a great opportunity for him. He wants free software. Okay, join the affiliate program, get 2 or 3 of your friends to actually sign up and pay for the software. and then you can, I mean, it's not essentially going to be free. You'll make a commission for each sale that you make, and you can use those commissions to pay for the software.
So we can integrate. I mean, how easy is it to integrate that affiliate stuff into what we just did right here? Because we've got our invoice now. So basically, we've got our product invoice.
Go back to that. Go back to that invoice. Go back to your next tab on the right. You see at the top those green buttons?
Yep.
Now these buttons allow you, ManyChat gives you a little website, a little script to put on your website, right?
Right.
You can put those here. Facebook tracking pixel, you can put that right here. You want to put a Facebook tracking pixel here, just click the add scripts in the header, paste in your Facebook tracking pixel code right there.
So this is like an ad, you would put an add to cart type stuff right here, right? Essentially.
No, this is where you put scripts. Most of these third-party websites, they put like Intercom. If you ever seen the Intercom chat, they say,
but I'm saying you would put a pixel with a custom event type stuff.
Yeah. I don't, about that, bro. I don't know what you would do with that.
Yeah, let me show you what it would look like, and let me see if this is kind of what we're talking about here.
I barely know how to use that Facebook tracking pixel, so
that's okay. You'll recognize it though if you see the format of it, and you'll go, oh, yeah, that's gonna fit there. At least.
Yeah, you'll just go to the tracking pixel, and then you'll hit install that pixel, and then they give you that little code, and then you'll just add that code inside there.
What for me? There's an event code, and so I guess it would be the same thing, right?
For you, that event code is that.
So this I would put here in there, yeah?
Correct.
If I go in here, I can do that. And then what I also, for you marketers out there, so the next step is these events. So this right here is an add to cart. So then I would put this add to cart right here.
And set for, I think that you can just actually, I think what you can do is just take that FBQ line, that line right there, and add it underneath the other FBQ line that registers the page view. Yeah, you can down. You see, right underneath there, you can add it right underneath there, and then get rid of those other two script tags at the bottom. Yep, and then you just save it.
Boom. Now,
so you can use this to add pop-ups as well. Like, you see those little model pop-ups. You can add those model pop-ups here. So like when I did an LTD, for Chatvago to some of my bot subscribers. None of them really knew what Chatvago was because I'd never even talked about it before. So on the invoice, literally on this product invoice, whenever you first land into this product invoice, it would pop up like a YouTube video. The YouTube video would pop up so you could watch it and understand, what Chatvago is, what you're actually paying for, and then you could just close it and go in and pay the invoice.
This is great. So we've got our invoice here. I'm gonna have to play around with the pixel later, but that's not important. So what did you do? Okay, so now we've got this, and basically, let's see. Is anybody if people are still watching, we'll walk through this. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you guys to go back and rewatch John's video. So
I'm going to do a couple more this week too. I'll do one on text in bulk this week.
So let's see. Let's just do. Okay, yeah, I think that's great. I was playing around with that last night, and I finally got it set up. And you got some great videos on YouTube that people can watch as well already.
We're setting that up for Australia and the UK. In the next 2 weeks, it will be set up to work in Australia and the UK as well.
I love it.
Also because of those 4 a.m. messages, man. I don't know what it is about people in your group that like to message me at like 2 a.m. I thought they really understood that you're the social person. You're like the nice social person. I'm like the evil genius behind the scenes that's not really a social person. I'm like an engineer builder that doesn't really want to be bothered by humanity.
I will direct all social interactions towards me for now. I have most of the answers now, which is good.
People, you're one of the few people that just gets my social sense, man.
Yeah, is that true? Well, I don't like people either. I just it's
just a necessary evil. Let's see. I don't know why this shit always.
It's grayed
goes
out for me.
wrong.
Whatever's on your screen is grayed out. It looks like you got a
My
bunch
audio
of
never
out.
works, guys. I got a new computer, and you think that it's freaking would figure its shit out, but that is not the case. So let's see. Can you hear me here? I can't hear you here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, here you're just fine.
John, you're gonna have to fill some space here a little bit. I don't know why every time my mic gets unplugged, shit goes haywire with my audio. I can't hear stuff.
So by fill space, you mean you want me to fill the silence? Is that what you're talking about, Hector?
If you guys are still there and bearing with us, I apologize. Let me know if you guys have questions and we'll get into it. Otherwise, what we're here is just talking about how to integrate payments specifically with let me hear if I can hear. John, did I lose you?
No, I'm here, man.
No, that's not gonna work.
See me? I'm here.
Let's see. How about now?
Yeah. I'm still here, buddy.
No.
Can't hear me? I'm assuming the rest of you guys can hear me. The rest of you Facebook guys can hear me.
Guys, I apologize if you guys are still here. I don't know why anyone would make it through this far anyways of just us talking nonsense, but I'm trying to get my audio to come back, and it is not it's not working out. So I apologize for all of the nonsense. I'm not really sure why computers and technologies decide to do what they do, but throw down your questions if you guys have any, and we'll either answer them now or when we come back. Because I can hear a little bit, but I just don't hear John. I don't know.
You don't hear me? Can you hear me now? Still can't hear me, buddy?
Nope, you're good.
So you can hear me?
Your audio is coming in. It's just not for some reason playing out on my computer.
So that's a no, you can't hear me. Can you Facebook guys hear me? You guys on Facebook can hear me? Yeah, those Facebook people can totally hear me, man, because I can hear myself.
All right, I think I'm back.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Facebook people can hear me.
Nope. We've pretty much lost everybody here. So John, if you, I'm gonna stop my share, and maybe if you want to throw your screen up and walk through some stuff for a few minutes until I figure this shit out.
Yeah, sure. I don't have anything on my screen though.
How to integrate payments, we're here to talk about all the different softwares that you guys have had questions about. So feel free to chime in if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, and I don't really actually have anything on my screen but Netflix, because like I said, it's like where I'm at, what time is it? It's 1:35. It's 1:35 a.m. here where I'm at Sunday morning. Just got back from a long massage and a date night with my wife. So the payment was pretty straightforward. So Hector showed you guys the payment is pretty straightforward. Here's some other things that we have inside the actual software bundle. So making phone calls. This one's actually pretty really useful because whenever you make a phone call, essentially what it does is it creates like a sales bridge call. So essentially what it allows you to do is whenever a lead comes into the actual bot and they want to talk to somebody on the phone, it allows them just to click a button. They can click that button, and in the background, what will happen as long as we have their phone number. So, and essentially, if they want a phone call, they're obviously going to give that phone number, right? If they want a phone call, so they're going to provide their phone number. Once they provide their phone number, essentially what's going to happen is we trigger a phone call out to them that says, you know, hey, this is John from HG Marketing, or hey, this is Hector from Tier 5, or hey, this is, you know, whoever from whoever. You just requested us to call you. If you want to talk to us now, press 1. If you want to try to schedule a different time, press 2, or essentially whatever it is that you want to say. So, and then if you want them to press 1 to connect with you, then they can essentially literally be right on the phone with you. So it makes it really easy because even with all the rage on chatbots, everybody's excited about chatbots. Businesses are excited about chatbots. You know that chatbots are here to stay because you have huge players in the industry that are creating chatbots, and they're actually even promoting and advertising their chatbots. So it's not like it's going away. But to cut all the bullshit, my chatbots made a lot of money. I mean, my demo bot made over 30K since the beginning of this year. It's made over 30K. My demo bot just selling videos. But users aren't paying a high ticket for that. They're paying like $47 a month to access those videos. But if you're selling an item that's, you know, more than a couple $100, I mean, if you're selling an item that's more than a couple $100, to be quite frank, you're not going to do that in Facebook Messenger. Like point in case me, you know, I run a software engineering firm. We sell software engineering services. All right. Our minimum project that we'll actually take on is $5,000 unless you're my friend, unless I like you, unless I personally know you somehow. Other than that, our minimum project that we'll take on is $5,000. And trust me, ain't no client I've ever had that's going to make a $5,000 transaction without physically talking to me on the phone. It's just not going to happen. If you're trying to sell a bot to a client, trust me, that client is not going to actually sign your contract without ever speaking to you on the phone. Unless you're selling them a bot for like $47 or something like that, if you're selling like a really cheap bot and there's not a lot of money involved in the transaction, then maybe they'll make the transaction without speaking to you. But if the transaction you're trying to get them to make, if you're trying to get them to make a transaction and the dollar amount of the transaction is more than what they themselves would justifiably value, let's say an hour of their time, they're not going to do that without talking to you on the phone. So phones, obviously, chatbots don't replace phones. Chatbots don't replace emails. Chatbots don't replace text messages. Chatbots don't replace any of that. They extend all that, and they extend that, and they add it as another extension of communication into your business. But like I said, I sign big deals all the time for our company. We got the last project that I signed is right at $500,000 project. It's essentially almost a 12-month project. Trust me, that dude didn't agree to that without speaking to me on the phone. We talked several times. So essentially, you know, you're selling chatbots, right? You're trying to get these chatbot clients. One of our software is essentially, like I said, text in bulk. It allows you to make these guys just click a button, give you their phone number, and instantly be on a phone call with you. Instantly create that sales bridge, and that's a pretty impressive thing. So,
yep, I'm back. I can hear you.
Cool.
Can I be selfish a little bit? I want to because people are asking to join, and I want to get this set up to kind of show them Let's see. So I go over here. All right. So basically, for our accelerator program, right, we need their email for the receipt, but everything else is pretty static, at least for this point. So do we need anything else? Do we need to ask them for anything if we're just going to kind of give them the set offer?
If you're gonna give them that product invoice, yeah, you don't actually need to ask them for any information at all. Even that email, you don't even need to ask them for that email, because they're gonna give you that email. They're gonna give you that email whenever they go make the payment. So if you're sending them to a product invoice, you don't need to ask them for anything at all.
We don't need to ask them for anything, and then it'll still be able to track it without the email, essentially?
That's right.
Okay. So what do I need? What block do I need then? Because I know
I would recommend using that gallery block.
Okay. Oh shit. And
yeah,
that,
because then you can make that pretty, right? That thing you can make pretty with all your product information there. You can make that pretty.
okay. And then I would put just the link right in here.
You're going to put the link right there.
Okay. So this link is going to go right in there. All right.
Now, wait, go back.
Okay, here we go.
Now you need to, now this is where those hidden fields come in. All right. So for those of you non-techie people, all right, there's something in the internet world called a URL parameter. All right, URL parameters allow us, you see them all the time, all over the place. They allow us to pass information all over the internet through the URL. So you're going to want to pass a URL parameter. The URL parameter that you want to pass is whatever the name of the hidden field in the invoice that you created. So I just recommend, if it's for a chatbot, using MID because it's messenger ID. So you're going to do exactly what you're doing there, except for some reason, you're never going to be able to click that because Chatfuel doesn't let you click those for some reason. So you just actually have to type in that messenger user ID. You can use the Chatfuel user ID. You can use the messenger user ID. You'll see that they're both exactly the exact same thing. You're not going to be able to type it. You're just going to have to, you're going to have to put it in just like that.
Fucking shit.
That happens with Chatfuel. So you just have to keep kind of pressing. You have to keep kind of pressing on. End it with your double brackets. There you go. That's all you need.
Okay. All right. So I can come back and pretty this up later. So then this is here, and then this is going to do that. Now, the next step, do I need to jump over to Zapier?
The next step, yeah, you would jump to Zapier.
Okay.
Now, essentially, your next step is going to be to actually to pay one invoice. Now you can go into Stripe and you can grab your test keys and you can pop your test keys in there temporarily, so you don't actually have to physically pay for the thing. All right. But the reason that the reason
it needs to process it so it can grab the data.
Correct. It needs to be able to fetch one paid invoice to be able to, because there's those product invoices, there's nothing that says on every product invoice that you have to have a hidden field called MID. All right. There's nothing that says that. So right. It needs to see one that's actually been paid so that it can fetch that, and then it can see the actual MID field there so that you can use it along with the rest of the Zap.
So if I do this,
you want to go, it doesn't look like you're in test mode, buddy. So I think what you really want to do, unless you want to pay yourself $4.97.
Tell me, where would I go though?
Go right in Stripe.
Uh-huh.
So go to developers. Now you see those API keys?
Over here?
Yep, you're going to grab those, except for you want to view test data. There you go. You want to get those test keys.
And
And
then
you're just going to go back and update invoicing you with those test keys for now.
okay.
Right there, buddy. Go to settings,
And then no.
payout details.
Edit keys. Was that my private? Okay. And then I'm gonna grab. Let's see. All right. Put that in there, and then I'm gonna save that.
I would like to make a recommendation for you, Hector, though.
Yeah.
Whenever you're doing these live videos, man, don't ever let anybody see those. The
Keys.
test keys don't matter, but those live keys, you don't want those streamed anywhere on the internet. Those live keys.
I agree. Okay. Good call.
Let's say I had a client. Let's say I had a client and I built something for them with Stripe, and I had their live keys. And let's say they didn't pay me, or let's say they just angered me. And since I'm a little off, I don't like it when people anger me. So let's say they just angered me, and let's say they've got, they're selling subscriptions $197 a month, and they've got 700 users. That's quite a big chunk of change. I could literally, essentially, with those live keys, I could just write a little script that says, hey, everybody that's paid, every single payment that exists. Let's say they've been collecting payments for 3 months, and they had those 700 users at, let's say even just $100 a pop. That's $70,000 a month, right? Last 3 months, $210,000. With those live keys, I just write a little script, and I could iterate through and refund every one of those payments, and essentially cost them $210,000. So you don't want anybody to have those keys.
Did I fuck up right there? This after this stream?
No, I think you're good, because I think everybody in your group adores you. So I think everybody. Now maybe
they see anything? Could they? I mean, they saw one. Do they need both keys?
They do need both keys, and you didn't reveal the other one. So I think you're good. I just want to give you that disclaimer in the future that you just don't want those keys floating out there. I think you're good in your own group, because I mean, most of those guys are cool ass people anyways, and I don't think any of them is going to want to try to hurt you or harm you that way. But just to protect your own ass, you definitely don't want those keys floating around the internet.
So we went through, and now we've got it in here, so it should be able to fetch it. I'm going to fetch a product invoice, right?
Correct.
Okay, guys, and remember, this is invoicing use Zapier integration. So when you guys, I need to go over and set up this for my own. So this is like, I guess when you guys ask, like, what softwares are we using? We're talking about invoicing you, and you guys have seen tons of videos on us using this. So that's what we're talking about here for the good.
Well, to be quite frank, whenever we need software, what do we do, Hector? We just kind of build it. So that's the whole reason that we're building Chatbot, because we need a good bot building platform, and one of them's already kicked us off and doesn't let us build bots there anymore. The Chatfuel, I love Chatfuel, but even they have their own limitations. I do like them though, because they have a much better community. Honestly, they have a much better community, and their bots have always been more powerful. But I think their bots have been more powerful because essentially they are a developer centric. That's why you'll notice that most people that are into developing and they're not into logic, they're more into marketing and sales. They don't use Chatfuel. They use ManyChat, because ManyChat's easy. ManyChat's easy for laymen to understand. Chatfuel takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more self-investment. Honestly, it takes a little bit more brain power, and you got to invest a little bit more in actually learning the platform. But I've said it again. I'll say it before. Most of you guys out there, especially most of you guys in Hector's group, to be quite frank, you guys don't really have that much business building a bot in the first place. So most of you guys have no business building bots in the first place. What you should understand is you should understand enough about bot building to be able to go out and price your services, to be able to know what bots can do, what they can't do, and how much time it actually takes to build certain types of functionalities into a bot. And that's about the extent of what you want to do, because you don't want to, trust me, You don't want to, I had so many students go through, if you remember, Hector, I did like that 35-hour training where on ManyChat. I had so many students go through that training, 35 hours, literally like 35 hours, hardcore training with me. So many students went through that training. Even after that training, they still didn't understand. They still needed help. And I just told them, like, look, dudes, you don't want to do this. You don't want to waste 35 hours of your time learning how to build complex bots. Not whenever you can call Hector and hire a developer and get it done much cheaper than that. You want to know enough about this to be dangerous in sales, and that's it. I mean, if you're sitting here, if you're going to sell a bot, and then once you sell a bot, if you're going to turn around and build it and need to get trained to learn how to build it, you're never going to be able to scale your business. I mean, after you get 2 or 3 sales, you're going to be stuck trying to build the bots, and you're not going to be able to scale your business. So,
whew, ain't that the truth? So
you
this,
see that there's that MID right there.
right, you made it. Great. So that's what we need.
That's what you want.
That is what I want. So then I'm going to hop over here, and then I'm going to go back. And so then there's going to be Accelerator paid, right? And I'm going to go in here, and then do I need a Zapier integration on this one?
What are you trying to do here? You're trying to say, hey,
they paid it, and I want to be able to pick up the.
Yeah. So you need a block. You essentially are going to want. Essentially, you need a block that says, thanks for payment. So Accelerator paid, and then you just want to put in a Zapier plugin right there. You don't really need to do anything here, but drop in a Zapier plugin is really all you need to do here for the most part.
Right. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to do this. So this is a webhook, yeah?
No. First you want to populate that card. So keep in mind in Chatfuel, to trigger Zap in Chatfuel, you're going to essentially, in Zapier, you're going to create a webhook, and in Chatfuel, you're going to use a JSON API plugin to send data to that webhook. All right. That's how you send data from Chatfuel to Zapier. How you send data back from Zapier to Chatfuel is you use that Zapier integration, and then you use another webhook, which is essentially a post method. You hit Chatfuel's broadcast API, and you send them to the block that has the Zapier integration. So essentially what you're going to do, you're going to catch the invoice. With invoicing you is going to be the trigger. You're going to take that data and you're going to populate it into a Zapier card in this block. And then immediately after you populate the data, you're going to use Chatfuel's broadcast API to send the user to this block that you just populated the dynamic content with.
So then I need one more. I need one more with the API with it on it, right?
No. What? Essentially, no. You're trying just to give them a notification that they just made it to the accelerator class, right? Like, hey, congratulations, we got your payment. You're in the class, right?
Yeah. Here's some. Do this shit.
Okay. Yeah. So you're in the accelerator. Yeah. So that's all you need right there. So now you just need to grab that. You just need to grab that little. You need to grab that ID, that Chatfuel key. You need to grab that guy.
Yep.
And then you need to go back to Zapier.
And then do I do this one? Webhooks?
No, you need Chatfuel for Facebook.
Oh, Chatfuel, that's the one. Because I'm sending it back to Chatfuel. Ah, yes.
Well, so right now what you're doing is you're populating data in that Zapier plugin for Chatfuel. But you're going to need another action, which will be a webhook to send that data back to the user. But we'll get in that in just a second. So hey, I would go back there and just edit that they've paid. Just edit your title, accelerator program paid. Because as you build a complex bot, you're gonna build a huge list of this. So you want to Now, I always encourage my students and anybody building a bot that whenever you, from the ground up, when you're starting, start with organization at the beginning. And trust me, I know from experience that if you don't start with organization from the very beginning, as you build and build and build your bot, you will reach a point where one, it's going to take you so long to actually implement organization, and it's going to be such a daunting task that you'll never do it. And two, you'll reach a point where literally you will reach a point where you're spending more time looking for something than you are actually doing work. I mean, if it takes you an hour to go find some block that it's only going to take you 5 minutes to make an edit or change to, then you can see there's going to be a big problem there. So you want to make sure that you always label stuff enough where, how do you want to label stuff? You want to label stuff that makes sense in your head, where whenever you go look at that thing among a list of another 100 things that you've been created over the last 3 months, that you can make sense of it and you can know, oh yeah, this is the thing that I want.
That's huge. That's a developer's advice right there. That's big, especially when you're building these things. So the card title would say you're in. Just click the button. You're in. Let's just do this. Welcome to the Accelerator program. Click the button below to act. It doesn't matter. All right. Here we go. Get started. And then the URL. Can that go to a specific block, or does that have to go to a URL?
That has to go to a URL, so I wouldn't mess with that. What I would do, if you want them to go to a different block, you want to get rid of that button and then go back to Chatfuel. And then just right underneath here, do whatever you want to do.
Oh, because this is the thing that they're going to get, right?
This little Zapier block that you see right here, this is that thing that you're populating over there in Zapier. So after they're not, and right now nobody's going to get this. All you're doing is adding data to this array of objects right here. So they're not going to get this until you broadcast this out to them. All right. You're going to have to physically, after you populate this data in here, then you have to actually send this block down to the actual user. You have to broadcast this block out to them. So once you broadcast this out to them, they're going to get whatever data's in that Zapier plugin. They're going to get that data, and then they're going to get obviously everything else inside this block. So here, that's where you could add a message. That's where you could add a button that will take you to another block inside Chatfuel.
Got it. Okay, cool. That makes sense. All right. So then let's hop back over here. Okay. So then, do we need anything really, like other than that? Because it's just populating this data here.
Well, I would recommend do something there. Yeah, give a subtitle, give a nice little image that's like, yo, what's up, dude? You know, congratulations or welcome, or like maybe find an image of a group of people hugging each other or something like that. Fucking find a picture of some silly ass fucking dude on Facebook with the panda hat, man.
Let's see.
Get that kid one, yeah, that one's good.
And then I throw that in there.
That kid's looking scary though. That kid's looking real scary.
You're in. Okay, so something like that. All right.
So here, just go back to that step right there.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep in mind here, like what I do is I always reference to these guys what I'm talking about. So here you can go in and say, you know, hey, we just got your payment for X, and you can reference what they paid for by picking something from step one, some data from step one, like the accelerator product or how much they paid. So you can have access to all that information here. So you can say, you know, hey, we just received your payment for $497 or whatever. It's that total. Or there, that works too. We received your payment for the accelerator program.
I see. So referencing back what they actually paid for.
Right. Now, another thing that I would like to recommend here, it's a little bit more on the initial setup time, not that much initial, but another thing that I'd like to recommend here is on this Zapier integration, whenever you fetch product invoices, all right, essentially every product invoice that is paid is going to trigger this Zapier integration out, all right? So what that means is, let's say you're selling a different product, Hector. Let's say you got a Facebook ad product. On that product, you don't have a hidden field. Let's say you're just selling that to your clients outside the bot or whatever, however you're actually doing it. Well, essentially, when that Facebook ad spend product is purchased, this Zap is going to trigger right here, all right? So what I recommend you do is you go in and add a filter. All right, so right underneath this trigger, but before the Chatfuel action, just hit that plus and add a filter. And then only continue if. And then you're going to put in, let's say that product name, there you go, is equal to.
Shit.
Exactly, you can do exactly matches. And then it needs to exactly match the, now this needs to exactly match whatever product that you want to trigger this Zap for. So in our instance, it's going to be the accelerator program. Just go, yeah, so it would have continued, so you're good.
Sweet. Look at that. Fucking A, guys. All right.
And now you can just jump down to the edit template and you should be good. Now that's all good.
Okay.
I always recommend skipping that, by the way.
What's that? This test?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're not done.
Right. We got to add a step.
You got to add a webhook.
Webhook. All right. So we populated that card. We put stuff there. Now we got to go.
Now we got to send it to somebody.
And that's post.
Correct.
Post. Here.
And this is kind of why some people are really get turned off by Chatfuel, because they've really, if you're using mini chat or mini crash or mini crap or whatever you want to call their platform, you know, honestly, I don't have any spite for those guys. I can understand somebody as intimidating as me. I'd probably kick him out. If somebody like me said, if I seen somebody like me come in and say, hey, John, I'm going to rebuild your software much better than yours, I'd probably be intimidated and kick him out as well, because it's my software. I'd be like, fuck you. But regardless of that, you know, if you're using MiniChat, you're pretty much just like used to just click a button, trigger a Zap, you're done. You're used to, you know, having some action, picking MiniChat and saying, hey, I want to send content to a user, or hey, I want to send text message to a user. So it's real user friendly. It's real user friendly for non-developers. So Chatfuel is a platform that essentially is built by developers for developers mostly. All right. So this is the main issue that I see people having with Chatfuel, is they just don't actually understand this process. So if you can get your head around
it's like simple for like a developer. It's like, oh yeah, you fucking do that, and like it makes simple sense for a developer.
Yeah. For a developer, it's pretty easy to use. I mean, they're broadcasting.
I'm trying to wrap my head around what was happening. So essentially, we have this trigger, right? And then we need to populate that info to, we need to give that information to Chatfuel. And then, right, through this card right here. And then we need to go grab that information and send it to the user with this post. It's kind of what's happening, yeah?
Yeah, so essentially, correct. We had the trigger, dude paid the invoice. Then we have a filter to make sure that that the invoice is for the particular product that we're looking for. Then essentially, we want to populate some data in Chatfuel. Now, this part we could skip because it's not really actually necessary. It's not necessary at all. We could essentially accomplish. So, why is this step? Why is that add card to Zapier integration? Why is that not necessary? Well, from right now, the reason it's not necessary is if you look at that template, real quick. So you see here that the reason this step isn't necessary is because there's no dynamic information here. This is static information, right? This is all static information. The only dynamic information is that accelerator program, but I know that's not physically dynamic information because I know that the only way the user will get to this step is if step one, if that product equals accelerator program. So since none of this information is dynamic information, you can literally just delete this whole action right here and you don't need it, because since it's all static and it's always going to be the same, then you could just go back to your block in Chatfuel and build this card and not have to actually populate. Because essentially what you'd be doing is just populating the same exact data over and over and over again on that on the Chatfuel Zapier integration. So it's just not needed.
That step is important if the information is going to be dynamic, right?
Correct. If you want to reference, if you want to say congratulations, John, right? Which also wouldn't be necessary in our case with Chatfuel because we know the dude's name. So it's only necessary if you want to create dynamic content in that block, and that dynamic content is going to come from some previous Zapier step in your process. So for us, it's not necessary because all the content is essentially going to always be the same. So we can just do that on the Chatfuel side.
So this actually makes things for marketers a lot easier.
Yeah, because now all you got to do is essentially
it could be even 2 steps if they wanted to.
Correct. Well, you still want to have that filter because see, right. The reason that you want to have that filter is because, like I said, you got some other, let's say you got that Facebook ad product, right? And if you send users there, they purchase that and you're getting a lot of people buy that thing, and you don't have that messenger ID as a hidden field when they're purchasing that, this Zap's going to fire every time. And after so many times of this Zap having an error, because that post will give you an error because there's no because you don't have anybody's messenger ID to send the broadcast out to. After so many times of this getting an error, Zapier is just going to turn it off. If your Zap if they keep running your Zap and it keeps causing an error, they're just going to turn it off. I don't know after how many times, but I know it's not that many times. Like I face the same issue with my bot, and I've got a flow that says send a text message, right? I tell the users, look, I'm only going to send text messages to US phone numbers. So if you try to text a non-US phone number, I'm not going to send a text message. But they still keep giving non-US phone numbers, and whenever my Zap triggers, it always fails because it's a non-US phone number. So they just turn my Zap off, and then it doesn't work for anybody. So
I see.
That's why you want to have that filter to make sure. Plus you don't want to. I mean, essentially, what are you going to do here? Essentially, you may go in and set some user attribute to true, which is essentially tagging them if you were using ManyChat. And you don't want to give people credit to being in your accelerator course if they just bought another different product from you, right? If they bought a lesser product, you don't want to give them access to this product. So you want to filter by the product to make sure that you're actually doing the right thing based on the product that was purchased.
Great. So this is actually where I got held up yesterday, but it's actually pretty simple once you figure out what's going on. So now this webhook, it says we need basically the Chatfuel broadcasting API link right here. And right?
No, go down. You don't want that guy.
Oh no.
No, go back to Chatfuel. Go down. Down, 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 down. Where are you at, bro? I don't know where you're at.
I'm on, this is the docs.chatfuel.com. This is actually what you had. This is the API, and then it I don't know if there's one that populates itself.
Yeah, that one's fine. That one's fine right there. It just looks a lot different on your screen than on my screen. I guess that's because I'm on my screen at my office. I have like a super huge monitor, so it's probably why it looks different.
So this is what we want to do is plug this in, but then we're gonna have to go in and plug in some individual stuff in here.
No, you got a bunch of crap there that doesn't need. Okay, so
yeah, there's these user attributes which we just cut off, and then the block name, right? So there's a few things that we've got to plug in though, if I'm not mistaken. First thing
correct.
Is bot ID, right?
You got to plug in that bot ID.
So we go here, and that bot ID, I'm gonna find that right there.
That's right there.
So that's that says bot, and then the slash, and then there's a number. So I'm gonna throw that in right in here.
You want to get rid of all that stuff.
So there's going to be in there. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find the user ID, which is basically going to be the MID. Yeah?
Correct.
So that's there. And then I've got my Chatfuel token. So this, okay. So this here, see fucking A, John. If I work through it one time, all right. So this here, I go here and I'm going to grab my broadcasting API token. So that's going to be right there.
Now, hey, while you're there, you see that messenger extension URL, and you see that domain whitelisting.
Yep.
If you go in and add https://www.invoicingyou.com in both those areas, if you do that, then whenever the user clicks on that Pay Now button, they'll never leave Facebook. Those pages will be popped up in a web view right inside Facebook, and they won't ever actually have to, they don't have to open up a new tab and go to a different tab. It will just open right up inside Facebook.
Is that okay like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. So then I'm going to drop that in my token right there.
Right there.
And then I've got and then the next thing that I need is my block. I get scared about this block name. So I know that's what you use, John. I'm going to go block ID though.
No. Block name's fine.
I know it is, but then over here, I just get worried that so what is it pulling?
The name of the block, bro, that thing right there.
Now, no spaces or anything like that?
No, you need the spaces in there.
Interesting.
The exact name, just copy and paste that. Just copy and paste that thing. Yeah, just copy and paste that.
You're for real, just like that.
Oh, totally for real, bro.
So then I put that block name right.
Nope. Just keep going and get all that stuff out because you don't need any of that stuff there. There you go.
And even with the space, it's going to be cool?
Yeah. Zapier is going to handle that space and URL encode it for you. Change your payload type from form to JSON. And you're done.
And then I can hit continue.
Now, if you test this step, you should get that block sent out to you. So go check your block real quick. I'd get rid of that. Yeah, get rid of that guy at the top, that Zapier guy at the top. You don't need him.
I don't. If I don't need, isn't this where I pulled this key though from? It doesn't still need to be there.
No, you don't need that anymore. Remember, we deleted that from your we deleted that from your whole Zapier module because we determined that the data that you're sending back to that guy right there is static and it never changes. So
that's right.
So we'll just do it right there. So now you should be good. Now you can go test that step, and you should be getting a message.
I think I got a message. Boom. Welcome to the Accelerator program. Let's get started. Boom. And I'm in. Fucking A, John. Fucking A.
It's easy. You know, we built these softwares. It's not like these are brand new software. So I've been using Invoicing You personally for almost 2 years, a little bit less than 2 years. I would say like maybe four months less than 2 years. But when the real onset, and I've been building bots for a long time, you know, the way that I paid for my college education, like the way I paid for my college education was rudimentary Facebook bots that were written with macros. So way before the Facebook API was there, they were written with macros. Coming with you in just a second, okay? Just helping Hector finish this. So, but when this real on-surge of botting came on, we went through pretty much all our core softwares that we use, and we modified them just to specifically be able to support bots and work with bots. Great.
Dope. Guys, this was valuable. So if you guys want more stuff on how to integrate this, these softwares more powerfully into your chatbots, just let us know, and we're going to keep bringing this stuff. So John, get some sleep.
You were talking about those native payments. And you know, those payments in Chatfuel, they're not native payments actually. Okay, they're not Facebook native payments. They are Stripe integration. They are just a Stripe payment, and you can use those. And the issue that you have with those though is that they're real static things. They're just really static things. You can't have, with Invoicing You can create a complete shopping cart for your bot and have people add stuff to the order. If you were to try to do that and using their payment system, it would be really crazy. So you'd spend a lot of time trying to set that up, and you wouldn't get very far. So
yeah,
you can't do custom subscriptions. So you can't do any type of custom subscriptions like monthly subscriptions, anything like that. So it's just a more, and you can't use it outside of the bot is the other thing. You can't use it outside of the bot. With Invoicing You, it works great inside the bot. You can do a complete bot shopping cart. You can create, dynamic invoices on the fly. You can create those product invoices. You can associate, you can easily get feedback back into the bot to know whenever users have actually paid for these things and associate them credit for paying for this stuff. Shows you in my bot how you could easily create an affiliate model, and all the stuff that you're selling already, you can just allow, people to now promote your bot. And whenever they promote your bot, if anybody buys something in the bot, you can essentially keep track of your commissions to your affiliates, which that works, right? I mean, having other people promote your products. I mean, if I go into some group that I'm new in, right? I go in some group and I'm new in that group and I try to sell my products, I'm going to have a very low sale rate. But if I get the admin of that group, if I get like the owner of that group and I'm like, look, dude, why don't you just make a little post to your group members? Here's some software that I got. It's not spammy. It's real valuable software, and your group members are going to get a huge value from it, and they're going to benefit from using the software. And besides that, I'm going to give you a 20% commission or 30% commission, or fuck it, I'll give you a 50% commission. That dude, trust me, when that dude drops that link to buy a software, they're his group members. I mean, point in case you, Hector, if I go into your group and I drop a link in your group and say, hey, buy this shit, one, half your group's going to report me for spam, most likely. And two, no one's actually really going to fucking do it. But if you go in and drop the link, well, those are your supporters. They're people who listen to you. So they're going to actually follow. So that affiliate marketing, that affiliate marketing is really powerful. A lot of people make a lot of money, and a lot of people make their whole income just off of affiliate marketing, doing nothing but sharing other people's links. So Invoicing You allows you to set up that now easily in the platform, from a bot perspective anyways, because we modified it essentially just for the bot perspective. And like I said, you can use it outside of the bot as well. I mean, you're not every client that you have is going to be a bot client or is going to pay inside the bot. You're still going to do normal transactions and normal businesses, so it doesn't limit you there.
Dope. Guys, if you guys have questions about this stuff, throw those down in the comments. We're gonna have tons of interviews coming up over this next week, and you'll just be seeing lots of trainings on the softwares, and just expect a lot more. So if you guys want the link to register for the summit that's coming up, drop an emoji And John, you're the host. So as soon as you end the meeting, the broadcast will stop.
So we're going to be doing a Chatfuel training, right? Pretty soon, coming up in April from the ground up. Specifically for your group members, I'm going to invite my group members as well, and we'll basically go from the ground up, like I did with ManyChat, from the ground up, how to build a bot. And I would, like I said, I don't hate those ManyChat guys. You know, it's kind of shitty. It's kind of shitty what they did to me. It's kind of shitty what they did to you, really. Because I've got like 60 bot clients that my engineers have built bots for, and the bots are done and we just do maintenance on them, and they literally like deleted all those bots, and now clients want money back for something that we have no actual control over whatsoever. I did like their platform, and I'm going to rip a lot of their platform off whenever I build mine. I guess I'm going to copy some of the stuff that they did, but I know a lot of people are having a lot of people are using them. And I think a lot of people are using them because they don't understand Chatfuel. They don't understand the power of Chatfuel. They don't understand what they can actually do with Chatfuel. So there's really kind of two main reasons that we want to do this training, right? One, because Chatfuel just allows you to build more powerful bots in the first place. You can build a lot more powerful bot in Chatfuel than you ever can in ManyChat. And two, just point in case, if you guys, I mean, I guess ultimately Chatfuel could do it as well if they really wanted to. But if you guys go out and just think of your position. I mean, if you go out and you put all your eggs in one basket and you build every single bot in ManyChat, and then somehow you put a panda hat on and they decide they hate you for that or whatever fucking reason, and then they just go in overnight and they completely shut you out of your account. They delete all your bots. Or even they could even do more malicious stuff if they wanted to. They could, start sending messages to all your subscribers if they wanted to, because it's their platform. So it's really important that you diversify yourself, and it's really important that you don't couple your whole business. I mean, think of your case, Hector. If you weren't smart enough to have been learning Chatfuel a long time ago, and you had all your eggs in one basket, I mean, it would have fucking really devastated you, man, because you wouldn't have been. I mean, it would have been a hole that it would have taken you a long time to actually crawl out of, because you're completely coupled to that system. So even if you don't think you're going to build a bot in Chatfuel because you think it's too complex, I'll make sure that you completely understand it, and it's not going to be a complexity for you. It'll be relatively simple. And trust me, once you actually start using them and start building bots, and you actually get the hang of using that platform, just like you did in ManyChat. I mean, most of you guys, when you were first in ManyChat, you didn't know what to do. You were asking all these little new questions all the time. And now look at you, you're building this. And I know you're building it because you're always posting on Hector's wall, bragging like, hey, I built this, I built this. I get a little lulls from it because of my experience level. But you do the same thing with Chatfuel. You spend some time and you'll learn it, and you'll love it, and you'll realize that it's actually much more powerful. But at the same time, I don't want to see any of you guys really building bots. You guys should be really focusing on selling them, because trust me, building bots is not where the money's at. The money is not in building the suckers. The money is in selling them.
That's for damn sure. But I think, John, for us, we really want to make this group about both, because I think people feel like they want a sense of competency, and I think that's important. And so we have this advantage of having you, who is very technical, and having me, who just understands marketing. So I think we're going to give them both. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this group, is that whether they're selling or building, they'll get the info. So
you need both to some extent. I mean, you need both to some extent. I would like your students to focus more on the actual selling aspect, but they do definitely need to know enough about the building, because if you don't know anything about the building and you don't know what the capabilities are, then you're not going to be able to sell. Now, if you don't know enough about, and maybe you could sell, but you're not going to be able to sell effectively. If you don't know, like, Hector, could you imagine if you went out and priced a bot and you had no clue about what the effort it was going to take, and you sold a client and gave them $1,000 cost, and you came and said, hey John, we got this bot built, and I'm like, fucking A, it's going to cost you $3,000. I mean, then what? I mean, then now you look like an asshole, because now you either have to pay for this dude's bot out of your pocket to get built, or you have to go back to him and say, you know, can't build it for this much. It's going to be more. And that's going to make you look like an asshole. He's probably not going to pay you. Probably definitely isn't going to refer his friends to you. So you need to know enough to be able to effectively do your sales. And I'll teach you a lot more than that. I'll teach you how to just straight up build crazy bots.
Yeah, I think there's a community of developers, and then there's a community of marketers, and I think bots are where they kind of mesh. So we're gonna give them both, and we have to schedule our time, John, on here, but we're gonna be going deep into all this, where they're gonna have Chatfuel training and they're gonna get it all. So, anyways, dude, get some sleep, man. We'll do this again soon, and I appreciate everything.
You guys want to say bye to George?
The monkey. There it is. Say hi to George. Fucking name. Is that like after Curious George? Was that like is that kind of what we were thinking?
Yeah, his name was Xena. His name was actually Xena when we thought he was a girl, and then when we found his penis, we changed his name from Xena to George. So I end this meeting and it's done.
Yep, you got it.
All right. See you, man.
See you guys later. Later, dude.